Really excited for tonight. I've been doing this work for like 22 years, trying to figure out how to get unstuck. It's like I grew up and all these unfortunate things, happen like to most of us, and then here I am as a teenager, just kind of feeling like stuck in my life in different areas, and I was like, well, how do you fix this stuff that's like deep inside of you, or like how do you fix shyness, or how do you fix, not feeling worthy? You can talk to psychologists for hours and hours and years, and that just kind of seemed to me to be just like telling your story over and over, and it didn't seem to get to the programming. And you know how they say, like, by the time you're 7 years old, you're pretty much, the mold that has been solidified, and it's kind of hard to, change things, maybe at a small level. Kamala does this great breath work that gets out some of those deep-seated emotions. So I've been on an exploration for a good 2 decades to figure out how do we get into the wiring, of people so that we can be free and not stuck by all that, history. What mom did, or what dad said, or what the teacher said, or what kids did to us, or the abuse, or whatever our story is. I told my mom this year, I had the realization that if she hadn't left and given me all the stuff to work on, I wouldn't have become the doctor and the healer that I am today. I'd be doing some regular job probably. And welcome. And so, yeah, there was some really, really great insights. And I said, if she had stayed with my dad, she would have stayed in her role. She wouldn't have written her book. She would have been locked in, kind of the dynamics that she was in. And so this realization, I told her, she says, I've been waiting 40 years to hear this, for this insight. And it was magical. So when we get unstuck from this stuff, it's like whole new worlds open up. Haven't you all heard that, like, our brain capacity, like, that we have the brains that are, hey, how's it going over? That our brain is like 20 supercomputers, like the amount of things that our brain can do. They've never invented a computer like that. And I thought, well, why is anybody living a miserable life if we have this incredible possibility? So it's just been, a fascination for me. Like, how can we tap into that? You see the idiot savants that can hear a piece of music once and they can replay it. It doesn't matter if it's an hour long. It's like, wow, somehow they're able to tap into their potential, or these incredible feats of math or art, or other incredible talents like that. So for me, becoming a doctor, it's like, okay, great, let's get people out of pain. Okay, now you're out of pain, but I have no energy. Okay, let's balance your hormones and get your nutrition right, and now you've got a lot of energy. You have no pain, you got a lot of energy. Okay, now what? Now what are you going to do with your life? Okay. So what's next is like to free us up so that we're connected with our higher selves, we're connected with our life's purpose, our mission. One of the things I do is, have you all heard of like the archetypes? Carolyn Mace does all this great work with archetypes. And supposedly we each have 12 dominant archetypes. You might be the mother, you might be the wounded healer, you might be the king, you might be, there's like 100 different archetypes. We each have certain archetypes, like the child and different ones. But
is that part of the drawing? Do we get to find that?
You get to pick. So we're going to have a drawing tonight, so I'm going to do some demonstration where you can pick 3 people and work on your deepest issue, or wherever you feel stuck, or whatever you want to work on. I'll show you how we use this work to clear those things up. So if you want to know now, I guess we could do the drawing right now, and then you can think about what issue you want to work on, okay? All right. So that one, 15.
That was me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Emma. Let's see here, what's this? 13.
That's me.
That's you. Okay, great. Not looking at it. Let's see here, what's this? 16. That's you? Okay, great. All right, so you can think about what you want to work on. Tammy, why don't you come up for a second? She took the workshop, my first one, right? You were in the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Santa Barbara, what was it, April? I think in April we did our first one.
How long ago?
Yeah. I think we did it like a month apart or something like that, like April and May. So hold nice and strong, hold strong. So the first thing we want to do, we want to get everything working in the body. So we can use muscle testing to get out of pain. Hold strong, so we'll see, hold. T1, T3, 4, 5, 6, 7, T1, T3, T4, 5, 6, T7, T8. So the body will say where the nerves are pinched in the body. So it says, oh, at T7, T8, there's a nerve that's pinched. We could, anywhere in pain in your body.
Lower back? Oh.
That's right in there. At the bottom of the scapula. We haven't gotten to low back. So we can use that and find the bones that are out of place and put them in place. Any neck pain at all?
A little, I guess.
Not really? Tightness, okay. So we could hold strong. So we could touch the neck and say massage, we could say fascia, we could say trigger point. So I'm touching the same place, but my intention's different. So I could say subluxation, which means bone out of place, nice and strong. So it's like I'm flipping on different channels. It's like TV. So on the subluxation channel, there's no subluxations there. On the fascia channel, there's no stuck fascia. On the massage channel, she doesn't need a massage there. On the trigger point channel, there's a trigger point there, which is like a muscle spasm. Hold strong. Trigger point, now I'm pinpointing it, trigger point. We can see how deep it is between the surface and the bone. Not in the first quarter trigger point, second quarter trigger point, third quarter trigger point. I'm touching the same spot, but it's responding to my intention. So we go here, third quarter trigger point, third quarter trigger point, we go right there. Feel it? That deep, 3/4 deep, sometimes it takes a few seconds to even feel it. You feeling it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So muscle testing is great. It guides us exactly to where the problem is and what the problem is. You just find the spot and say, okay, what's going on there? Is it a trigger point? Is there an adhesion there, like scar tissue? We can do the same thing with organs. We could say her lungs are functioning over 90%, her heart, her liver. She's over 90% hydrated, and now her body says no. So using those techniques, we can get out of pain. Like I say, we can balance the organs, get all the nutrition right, find out what she should be eating, what she shouldn't be eating. If there's any toxicity, if there's any allergies, if there's deficiencies. So that's all great to get the body working fine. But then what about our mind? What about these emotional things that are stuck in us? So what you do is you make a positive statement. And that's what we'll do tonight. You make a positive statement. Hold. If she was to say the statement like, I believe in myself, okay? Anything that I want to do, I feel I have the ability to do. That goes weak. Why? And then we can find out where that belief that she has limitations, right? So anything I want to do, I feel I have the ability to do. Where did she get stuck around that? Not ancestral issues, not past life issues, not age 0 to 5, not age 5 to 10, not age 5, not age 6, not age 7, at age 8 to 9, somewhere around 8 to 9. Sometimes people know what it is, sometimes not. I was working on my, do you know what that was? Age 8 to 9?
There's something that comes to mind, but I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I had a friend who's a shaman that worked with me, and he pinpointed something in that age for me too.
Around that age, okay. I was working on my mother this week because she was a massage therapist for 35 years, just very touchy-feely, but and then she wrote a book. She likes performing and, you know, hands-on stuff. Well, she became a real estate agent like a couple years ago, and she's dyslexic, so when it comes to paperwork and, you know, stuff like that, it's just not the part of her brain that she's used most of her life. And she's just terrified of making a mistake with the paperwork. She's got all these real estate deals coming up, and she wanted me to work on her. And it came up age 14, and she said, "Oh, I thought it was going to be like age 5 or 6, because that's when my mother was trying to teach me to write my name, and she couldn't understand how shapes and, you know, drawing different shapes corresponded to sounds, and she just didn't get the point of writing. And her mother was like, 'You're going to sit here, because think how people are going to think you're really stupid,' and, you know, just forced her to sit there until she got it. And I was like, 'Well, what's coming up first is this age 14. She said, "Oh, that was my first job. She worked at a title company," which is all about real estate, right? And she didn't know what to do with the paperwork, and she was afraid to ask because she didn't want someone to think she's dumb. And so she just kind of filed them anywhere, and they got really mad and said they couldn't find them anywhere, and they told her they didn't want her ever to come back to that office. And she decided at that point she was just going to get through life being a pretty girl. And that's what the muscle testing said, and she had forgotten all about that. So really, really, it's powerful. Anyways, thanks. I just wanted to demonstrate your muscle test so clearly. So that's the stuff I want to help people clear out. You know, I want to help people become free, to become higher functioning human beings, not stuck by this anger and the sadness. You know, those times where you're just irritated and you don't know why, and you know, I want to show up as the best version of me every day, and so I want to get that stuff out. So, so we picked 3, hopefully lucky winners. So, who wants to come first? And any questions too before we get started? If questions do arise, why don't you save them to the end at that point? If there's bunches of questions, it makes it kind of hard to edit video because sometimes it's hard to hear it. You want to come up first, since nobody leaps up?
Sure.
You know what you want to work on?
Sure.
Okay. So why don't we take the necklace off? Have you ever muscle tested before, or had muscle tested done? Yeah.
Actually, I had a chiropractor in Illinois that sort of looks like the same way
Okay.
that you did it.
Let's
You
go
know,
ahead
you
up
know,
that way.
I'm very fascinated and I love it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And tell us your name again.
Charlene.
Charlene, great. So hold strong, Charlene. Hold strong. So first, I just make sure we're getting clear tests. So say my name is Charlene.
My name is Charlene.
Okay, good. So say my name is something else.
My name is something else.
Okay, good. There you go.
So not something
Nobody's
else.
ever done it. Okay, so what do you want to work on?
My life is a struggle.
My life is a struggle. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's where.
Good. So when we do this work, we can either focus on like something really specific or something broad. That's kind of a broad thing. My life is a struggle. In my work, I call that a life theme.
Yeah.
You know. So what we'll do is we'll say the opposite of that. My life flows beautifully, easily, effortlessly. Okay.
Yeah.
So when Charlene says, does that sound?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
what you
unless
wanna
you wanna,
do.
like, what would be a specific thing be?
That's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
So we'll see if that's a core issue.
Okay.
So say my life flows beautifully, effortlessly, easily.
My life flows beautifully, effortlessly, and easily.
Okay. So when she says that, her subconscious mind disagrees with that statement. So I'm going to do something to lock that statement in deeply. So say that. Close your eyes and say it.
Okay, my life flows beautifully, effortlessly, and easily.
Open your eyes. Okay. So I'm just going to lock it in so that her body is focused on the disparity between that statement and what it currently believes. Okay? So when she makes that statement, we lock it in, her whole system drops to weakness. We could hold nice and strong, got a nice strong muscle there. Everything's shut off. So that means we've got what's called a deep entry. So it's like, this is an issue worth working on. So I'm going to touch this point here. If this point made her go strong, she's in weakness, that would tell me to do a structural therapy. If I touch these points here, hold, and that brings her to straight, that tells me to do an emotional therapy. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to touch the left one turns it on, the right one doesn't. Okay, so she's in weakness, we touch the right one, it stays in weakness. Hold this one. So there's a short circuit somewhere around that issue, and this is how we're going to fix it. So put two hands right there like that. Close your eyes, open eyes. Okay, keep feet apart like you're doing. Let go here. Okay, hold nice and strong. So that brings her back to strength. It didn't fix it. We haven't fixed anything yet. It just tells us, okay, this is a good issue, and this is how I should go about treating it through an energetic type therapy. So now I want to find out where in the body she's holding this blockage. You know, where life has become a struggle. So as far as her life being easy, effortless, you know, and flowing, her first chakra is clear, first to second chakra, her second to third chakra, her third to fourth, her fourth to fifth chakra. So it says in the upper chest area. Could be on the back side too, back of the first to second, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth. No, it says it's on the front. Do we need to know the cause? The body says yes, we should know the cause of this blockage. 9 times out of 10 it says we don't need to know the cause, and this time it says we should. It's not ancestral, it's not past life. So, it's an old one. So it's not last lifetime, it's not 2 lifetimes ago, it's not 3 lifetimes ago, it's not 4 lifetimes ago. That's a ways back there. Do we need to know anything more than that about it? No. Okay, so we don't need any more detail. Alright. So we're just having a conversation with their body, and it's giving us yes, no answer. So I'm making statements that the body can answer with a true, false, or yes, no. So what's needed? So there's a blockage, not here, not here, not here. Right there is the block. Do you have any issues there, like thymus or bronchitis? Like, is that a weak thing?
When I was born with asthma, and I had a lot of bronchitis when I was a child.
Yeah.
And recently some rashing has been happening.
Yeah. So a lot of issues show up right around there. That makes sense. Okay. So there's a frequency there that's not calm, relaxed, peaceful. So what we're going to do is find out which modality has the right range of frequencies to negate that or cancel that. So I've got different lists on my menu. So it's not in list A, not in list B, not in list C, not in list D. Okay, she doesn't know what list D is, but when we're touching, our information is shared. Like everything she knows, everything I know. So just like I don't know what happened to her 4 lifetimes ago, but her subconscious does. So it's not, list D, it's not tastes, it's not smells, it's not kinesthetic, it's not sacred geometry. So the patterns of sacred geometry would be the best modality for clearing this. So have you ever seen crop circles, or does anybody not know what sacred geometry is? No? You don't know? Okay. Essentially you take triangles, squares, pentagons, circles, spirals. There are these basic shapes that nature creates everything, from the DNA helix to the way molecules fit together, the patterns of the pine cone and the sunflower. There are all these examples in nature. It's kind of like the mathematics that nature uses to create things. So it's kind of like innate beauty. So it's how the universe creates order. So when there's a disturbance, these shapes, you can bring them in and they create order where there's currently disorder or dis-ease. So her life is not at ease, and so we're trying to bring in ease. So what patterns are needed? Not triangles plus other shapes, not squares plus other shapes, okay, not squares plus pentagons, squares plus circles, squares plus spirals, okay. So we bring in that combination of squares and spirals right there. That works on this issue. That's the frequency that will kind of be the antidote for this disturbance. So I just hold that intention of squares and spirals. So when it comes to making changes at the energetic level, the tool for that job is our intention. When it comes to making change at the structural level, the tool is my hands. My structure treats her structure. I can rub her, I can move bones, I can do things with my hands. When it comes to changing things at the chemical level, the tool is food, supplements, herbs. When it comes to changing things at the energetic level, the tool is my mind, my intention. So we're just projecting our intention of the square and spiral. So when we found it, remember it went weak? And now while it's processing, she's in strength. When it's done, it'll go weak again. That'll tell us we've done complete work. So it's over 20% done, over 30, 40, 50, over 60% done, over 70, over 80, over 90, getting there, almost cooked. Sorry, it's been about 200 years. Might take a couple minutes. Probably more than that, 4 lifetimes. Cool with that? So see how she's gone to weakness now? And then we just take the hand away, hold. See that breath she just took? That's her subconscious going, oh, what a relief to have that off my system now. Okay, so 4th to 5th chakra, 5th to 6th, 6th to 7th, and then beyond there, there's some other chakras, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and beyond. Okay. So the back of the 1st through 7th chakra, the front of the, okay. So it's all clear. So what I'm going to do is lock that in. Close your eyes. Open eyes. Okay. I'm going to see if there's anything. We're still locked into that statement where she said, oh, my life is easy, effortless, flowing. So it said to do a treatment based on this point, which corresponded to this. So I touched the emotional points, good, the electromagnetic points right here, the structural point, so now it says, now that we've released that tension in the body, it says now we can actually change her structurally. Isn't that exciting? So touch right here like that. Close eyes, open eyes. Sometimes I talk about like this, if you look at the spinal column, the spinal cord goes down the middle, so it's like a hollow tube, right? Which is like It's kind of like a music. It's kind of like a saxophone, right? So if you have tension, that saxophone plays a certain note. Some tense note. You clear that tension. Now the spine's ready to shift a little bit and change the note that it plays. So it's like the way we carry ourselves, our mind and our body. So now we've changed the frequencies that her body's carrying. So now it's ready to change structurally. So hold strong. So what's ready to be released? Not C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's not in the neck. Not T1, T3, not T4, T5. I thought. So we get right there. And do a little sit-up. Chin in. Yes. Went nicely. So essentially what I'm doing is hold strong. Asking the body, what are you inviting me to do? Am I invited to do any other adjustments? No. Anything else ready to be adjusted now? No. See, that's what's great about this versus other chiropractic. They'll just go in there. If they feel a little tension, they'll pop it, not knowing whether the body gave them permission to or not knowing whether the muscles and the fascia and we're ready for that. Just because something's out of place doesn't mean it wants to go. It's ready to go in place. You know. So close your eyes, open eyes. So when she makes that statement again, so essentially she made that statement, we locked it in, and then the body gave us, it says, no, her body says, my subconscious mind is not congruent with that statement. And then it showed me all these therapies that I could do to make her body congruent with that statement. So now, make that statement.
Close beautifully effortlessly.
And with these, okay, great. See how strong that is? Okay. So we could find out. See, just getting the muscle to test strong doesn't mean much. You can do a lot of tricks to get it to test strong. So I want to see if we've cleared it to the core of her being. Because you could clear it a little bit. You know, there's a lot of techniques out there that they do something and the muscle was weak and now it's strong.
Theta, NEP,
a lot of these tapping things, they clear it at superficial levels, but not if you challenge it at the deeper levels. So to the core of your being, you trust that your life now flows easily, effortlessly, beautifully. Okay, accessing the deepest channels in all 7 realms, accessing 4 lifetimes ago. Okay. Cleared completely. Had these changes been stabilized, integrated, and saved holographically? Has the quantum field been updated in all parallel universes through all time and all dimensions? Okay.
Woo!
Wow.
Lucky.
It's over, people.
So, I trust that I'm absolutely safe in the world. Okay. So that might be the core issue. That might be the best question. It might be close. We'll see. So I like to actually make feeling statements. It gets more into the subconscious mind instead of I am safe or I think I'm safe. Feeling question. Hold strong.
And what is it again? I am safe.
Well, let me change it a little bit.
Okay.
I have absolute trust that only good can happen to me. So say that, make that statement.
I have absolute trust that only good will happen to me.
Oh, close your eyes. Can happen to me. Only good can happen to me.
I have absolute faith that all good can happen to me.
Open your eyes. I have absolute faith that only good can and will happen to me.
I have absolute faith that only good can and will happen to me.
Close eyes. Okay. We lock that in. Absolute faith. Only good can and will happen to me. Hold nice and strong. So, quite weak. Alright, so I'm going to touch the emotional points. Hold strong. So one of those works. Hold strong. F1, hold strong, hold strong, hold strong. Okay, so this one turns it on. Put 2 hands here, like that, just on this point right there. Close your eyes, open eyes, keep them open. Okay. Let go there. So if we did it right, hold strong, she should be back in strength. Good. So where is that faith? That that she's okay, that she's protected. So where is that faith blocked? Hold strong, not in the first chakra, not first to second, not second to third, not third to fourth. You can kind of feel it coming. It's like the lack of control over events, that's a third chakra issue. So do we need to know the cause of it? She kind of already does. Okay. Not list A, not list B, not list C, not list D, not list E, not list F. List F is what I call the void. So instead of putting in a positive frequency, it's actually pulling out. So it's like giant vacuum. Hold strong, the void. Hold strong, the void here, here, right there. So this one could be fairly deep. She says it goes back to childhood. There could be many layers to it. Hold strong, hold. It's over 20, 30, 40% done, over 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. This is done. Okay. So she's still in strength, which means this place needs a different frequency. It needs more than one frequency there. So not list A, B, C, D, E, F, list G, list H, list I. List I is what I call other healing energies or concepts. Hold strong, hold strong. Not love, not compassion, not trust. The word trust. Boldness and strong. Okay, so she cycled to weakness there, so that point's done. Hold strong. So where is next? I feel like there's a spot just above it. Hold, not list A, B, C, D, E, list F again, hold strong, hold, the void, right there. Over the years, he developed greater and greater sensitivity to it, so you can kind of feel where it's blocked. Hold nice and strong. So she goes to strength while it's processing. Hold strong. Over 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, over 66. About halfway down there. The beautiful thing about you all sitting here and witnessing this and holding space for it, it makes it much more powerful than if I'm just doing it one-on-one with her. That's the way healing was done traditionally. Like community, there was like a whole tribe that would come together if you had a problem. It wasn't you in isolation dealing with your issues by yourself. So I love doing this work in a group. It's way more powerful. Hold strong. Okay, so that's hold strong. fourth to fifth, the sixth to seventh, not the back of the first to second, the third to fourth to fifth, not list A, so it's a different frequency there. Hold strong, not colors, not sounds, not frequency, so it's a specific sound frequency. Hold. I have one patient who has a close friend who's a medical intuitive, and she can see the energy. So like when I do something like this, she says, oh, I could just see that the right side and left side just were able to connect. Clearing that, connected that. Or, like, this is all visual to her. So like at the end of me treating her friend, we sit there and listen to her tell us what it was we just did. Pretty interesting. Hold. State A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Pure intelligence. So pure intelligence is, my idea is something like absolute truth. Like the whole question of safety, I am safe. Well, who am I? If I am this body, well, this body can be hurt. But if we identify correctly that the I is us as a spirit, the spirit can't be hurt. It's immortal. So if you connect with that truth, there's nothing to be afraid of. So it's connecting with something like absolute truth. Hold strong, hold strong, hold. So feeling unsafe, that creates a lot of tension in the body. You know, it can block us in many different places. Okay, so that's clear. Hold 12th chakra beyond the 12th. So front and back, first through 12th chakra and beyond. Hold strong, hold strong. That's clear. Close your eyes. Open eyes. Hold strong, hold. We get to structure, 2 hands there, like that. A little lower there. Close eyes, open eyes. Okay. Okay, good. Hold strong. Not soft tissue, not reflexes, not traction, not subluxation, not atlas. So hold strong. Atlas, left posterior, posterior lateral, left lateral, right posterior. So it says it's gone out on the right side, not on a certain phase of breath. So her body's telling me that it wants to release it at a certain phase of breath. Hold, not on inhale. Okay, that's the phase of breath. Okay, so hold strong. So we get to the right spot. Hold strong, hold. Breathe in. Yeah, that's what it is. Hold strong, hold. This is connected not with fear. Okay, fear, hold on. First chakra, fear. First, second chakra, fear. Hold strong. Third, fifth, sixth, seventh. So connect with yourself right there. So it's connecting with fear right there. So breathe in. Good. Breathe in. Good in. Good. And in. So that was out of place and blocking your brain and your body from communicating, as well as the chin. Hold strong, nice and strong. And then right there. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Should zoom in on her face. Hold strong. Hold. Lock it. Make us proud. Hold strong. There we go. Okay, good. So are there any other adjustments to do? No. Close your eyes. Open eyes. Okay. Anything else? Hold strong. Hold strong. Structure, emotion, electromagnetic chemistry. Okay, hold that. Okay, just going to reset our feet together. These changes have been saved. Hold strong. Hold strong. These changes have been stabilized, integrated, and saved holographically. The quantum field's been updated in all parallel universe at all time or dimension. So say, I feel completely safe in the world.
I feel completely safe in my world.
Hold. So say I feel safe.
I feel safe.
Okay. Good. So safety is kind of like fear. So one of the things I talk about is a class I teach on stress. And the one thing I talk about, what causes stress, is the idea that life might present a situation that you don't know if you can handle. Right? Like if you knew you could handle anything that came along, there would be no need to be stressed, right? If a 4-year-old attacks me, I don't get stressed because I know I can handle it. You know, if some NFL football player attacks me, I don't know if I have the skills to handle that, right? So that causes stress. So she says, I trust that whatever happens in my life, I trust that I have the skills to deal with it. Okay? We make that statement, her subconscious now says that's true. It's in agreement with that. Is there anything else it wants me to work on? So think about your childhood, hold strong. Think about your husband, think about the addiction. He said he's still dealing with that. Okay, hold strong. Okay. So, not that there aren't any other issues. So if you say, I feel completely empowered to deal, to help him with that, that goes weak. I feel empowered around his addiction. No. Okay. So there's other, layers and things like that.
Yeah.
But there you go.
That's a great start.
Yeah, that's a great start. When I've been doing it for 22 years, and once I learned how to talk to the body and get yes/no answers, everyone I work on teaches me something about how we get blocked and how do we access, the deeper stuff. Like with Tammy, told me that there's a trigger point 3/4 of the way down into the, incredibly specific. I wanted to bring kind of like surgical precision to energy work. That's something that I don't think anybody had done before. Energy work had all been kind of like this vague thing. It's like, oh, we try to clear ourselves and we light some incense and chant, and it's like sometimes it seems to help, but it seemed to be kind of hit or miss. So I was looking for a way to actually find out, okay, how are you stuck? What frequency is that stuck energy? How can we cancel that and get rid of it and get free of it? And so I think the work's at a pretty good place. I'm really happy with where it's at now. So anyone who wants to learn this work, I teach it in 2 weekends, not the adjustments. Everything but the adjustments. But I actually do teach you how to find where something's stuck and which direction to push it, so you could do very gentle adjustments, non-force adjustments. So in November, I'll be doing 2 weekend workshops. So module 1 teaches you how to get yes/no answers so you can start talking to the body. And on that day, we learn how to fix structural stuff, find out where somebody wants massage or where they've got a trigger point or a bone out of place. That's my little boy. So I was just telling him stories about the jelly beans.
Oh.
So now what we can do,
We know all about you.
Tiger, we're on the right, you see 2. You're stuck from C, come over here.
Okay.
Turn around.
And how
So-
old is
He's 14s. See,
My
2 to
son's
3.
14.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Where does he go to school?
he?
I've homeschooled all three of my kids.
Oh, great, yeah, he's doing
Yeah.
that now too.
Oh, okay.
So he's out C2 to C3 on the left. So get C2 to C3 on the left.
Okay.
So it's kind of in between posterior.
Oh my god.
So right C1, right C2, right C3, C4 on the right posterior.
Ah!
So what's interesting about that? Yeah, my spotlight.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, have a
Okay.
seat. Have a seat. What's interesting is that we're constantly broadcasting everything about ourselves. The information's there. That's how psychics do what they do. They just learned how to tap into that information. And it's available at a distance. And I love the adjustments because it's demonstratable. Like if I said his fourth chakra is off and hold the color blue there, how would you know if it was real or not real? But adjustments like that wouldn't have gone if it was just phony baloney, right? So I have absolute trust that it's real. And whether the information is about structural or it's about emotional or if it's about chemical information, it's all electromagnetic information. It's all the same information. So if somebody asks, well, how do you know it's real? That's my example. We can diagnose it at a distance. We get yes, no answers. And I don't know what better proof to give, really, other than the adjustments. Because that's like, if that hadn't been there, he would have done that and it would have been like, ow, nothing would have gone. So,